Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. It is Tuesday morning here in the Arkansas Delta. Thank you so much for joining me. It is time to grab a cup of coffee, grab your Bibles, and just kind of sit back. We're just going to chat for a little bit this morning. I'm hanging out here at the Whaley Casa this morning. I'm working from home. I've been extremely busy all morning trying to get a few things done, doing quite a bit of studying. Already had a chance to sit in on a Bible study this morning, so I'm very, very excited for that. That was such a blessing and such a treat. I wasn't expecting it, so I was very, very excited to be able to join into that. I hope you are having a great day. I hope that you are having a very productive morning. I know there's a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. I'm getting this bad boy sent over here to our group page, and so it won't take me just a second. So hey, when you get in, hey, say good morning to me. Let me know who all is here. Let me know who has joined me for coffee this morning. Going to just kind of join me. I'm working on a new pair of glasses here, so if I look at the camera a little bit strange or anything like that, just know that's what it is. I'm trying to break them in. The camera and my laptop is at a different distance than what I'm used to, and so I am doing my best to get adjusted. I've had these glasses for quite some time, but they have just not worked well with what I do, where I do it at, and so it's been kind of frustrating, to be honest with you. I love my glasses, but I have to, I've got to be able to see, right? I have got to be able to see, and so now then with this difference, because the camera is a little bit farther angle than it has been on normal, and my computer is at a little bit different bases, and so I'm doing my best to kind of adjust, and so it's kind of wanky if you just want to know the truth. But hey, good morning. If you're here, say good morning. I'm about to get in there. I'm almost there, and I'll be able to read all of the goodies. I pray that you are having such a wonderful day. If you want to, hey, hit that share button, and don't do it in a watch party. Share it to your page, okay? Share it to your page, so that way we can get some friends that's going to watch and just have a little fun. Grab a little coffee with the preacher this morning, and just kind of hang out at my house. And so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Let me see here. I'm hitting that button, and I am almost there. Oh, we got several folks here. Trying to get in. It's kind of cloudy. I told Miss Denise when I got up, I said, I know it's not supposed to, but doggone, it looks a little bit like rain. Okay, let's see here. We've got, oh my goodness, I see Miss Kay, Miss Elfrida. I'm so glad that you guys are there. I know what y'all are doing. We are beginning the cleaning process of getting our church ready for, hopefully sooner than we realize that we'll be able to get back in our building, and we've just got some things that has to be done, and so we have some incredible ladies that are jumping in and taking care of that, and they are doing their best to clean and to maintain social distance and just to do what it takes in order to to get us back where we need to be. And so it's going to be a slow process, but we're going to get it done. And I've asked Mary Weddington to head this project up, and she is so amazing. She's so gracious, and I'm very, very thankful for her. And by the way, speaking of Mary, all the photographs that we posted last night from the drive-in, oh my goodness, what a great time that we had on Sunday. And thank you, Mary, for taking care of all of those photographs. It was such a good day. Again, lots going on. Thank you to all the ladies that are currently in this cleaning process. You are greatly appreciated. You are so loved. And I thank you personally from your pastor. I love you, and I thank you very, very, very dearly. A lot of things happening this morning that I want to ask you to make it a point of prayer. Okay, I talked to Brother Norval this morning real early. Well, I text back and forth. I say talked. And he is home. He is doing quite well. And you could definitely tell in the tone of his text that there was there's a little bit of a sigh of relief of some of that pain. And so continue to pray for Norval. Continue to remember Miss Faye as they are home. They are adjusting, they're healing. So pray for that. And then, folks, if you have not heard already, there was such a tragedy that took place yesterday in our community. The death of David Lawson's brother. This is Becky Lawson's brother-in-law. His name was Bobby. And I'm not going to get into the details, but it was just a tragic death that took place last night. And if you would please remember David and Becky and their family, because this is horrible. And we want to remember them. We want to pray for them. If you would reach out to Becky, okay, and just let her know you're thinking about her, you love her, and that you're praying for them. And I have already, early this morning, I've already talked to Becky, and David is tied up, and I will talk to David later on this afternoon. But I've already let them know the church loves them. We're here for them. And if there's anything that we can do for them, that we will be glad to do that. So just know that that's here, that's there, that's taking place. And so please make that a matter of prayer. Also, and there was another one, and I don't have the email in front of me. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. There was another prayer request that came through yesterday that we want to make sure we remember, and this is the family of Melba Skelton. Okay, Melba Skelton. She had died yesterday. This is Nancy Higgins and Tommy Skelton's sister-in-law. Her mother was Laveda Walker. Okay, and I think that's about all the information that I can give. So we want to remember that family. Okay, as death has entered their family. So please remember that. So lots of things happening there. Zoom tonight. Zoom Sunday school with Brother Larry. I'll be posting the invites and the passwords on this page and also in our group so that anyone would like to. And this is available to everyone. It is not just for Brother Larry's Sunday school class. It is available for any and everyone, because I can assure you we're having an amazing time. Last Tuesday, we had 19 people online watching that, and it was a hoot, folks. I mean, it was a hoot. If you want to participate and you want to use it on your phone, you will have to have Zoom app already loaded, and if you have that, then it'll make it just so easy to get in. But you'll need the Zoom app on your phone. If you're going to use it on your computer, you will need to I believe you have to download the app on your computer as well. If not, you have to be at least in the website, which is zoom.com. But we want you to be there if you possibly can. If your Wi-Fi is strong enough, join us. It's a lot of fun. We have taken all of the safety precautions to make sure that nothing can happen, nothing can get in. And I serve as the host, which means I have all the controls for those safeguards, and I have doubled and triple checked all of those safeguards to make sure that we are safe. But you have to do what you choose to do. A lot of friends jumping in. Glad to see him. Mr. Robert just jumped in. What's up, buddy? I'll call you in a little while. Sarah is here. Good morning, Sarah, to you and yours. I see Miss Sandy is here. Hi, Miss Denny. So glad to see you. Lisa Lee is in the building. Glad to see you, Miss Lisa. And again, and I'm not completely sure who all is here. Thank you for everyone who has jumped in and is here. Also, I want to remind you, tomorrow night at 6:30 is our Wednesday night online live. It's our Bible study, and so I want to encourage you to be here at 6:30 for that. As we continue through the book of Exodus. I'm very excited about that study, and so we will continue that. Then on Thursday night, guys, I am so excited about this. Brother Johnny has wanted to do this now for a couple of weeks, and we've been trying to get the logistics out. And that's Thursday night at 7 o'clock on our campus. Out in the back parking lot, we've got the fire pit. Good morning, Kane. Glad to see you, buddy. Thanks for hopping in. Hope you got a cup of coffee and just hang out with me for a little bit. We're going to be reading out of John 10 this morning if you want to hang around. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, we're going to be gathered around the fire pit. Brother Johnny has brought a truckload of sweet gum stumps that we can sit on, and we're going to space them out, for social distancing, and, we're going to do our best to be safe. If you would prefer to bring your lawn chairs, then please do that, and we will kind of space them out. It's probably going to be too warm to actually light the fire, but we're going to be back there in that atmosphere, and that is at 7 o'clock, and Brother Johnny is going to lead that. I'm beyond excited. That just sounds so much much fun. And please plan on joining us. Make sure you bring your Bibles. I'm going to do my best to film that. So we may have a Facebook Live off the campfire on Thursday night. So you might want to be looking for that. Also tonight, if by chance you decide not to join us on Zoom, I'm going to try something brand new tonight, and I'm going to try to film the Zoom Bible study. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to sound like, but we're going to do our best to do that. My buddy Clint Haynes down the street in the Colt neighborhood. Glad you are in, Brother Clint. So thankful for you to be here. I hope you and your family, I hope you and your church are doing well. But that is Thursday night. Tonight we're going to try to film that Zoom on Facebook Live. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I sure don't know what it's going to sound like. You have to remember that if you do catch it on Facebook Live, there will be about a 20-second delay from what you see to when you receive it. And so the comments would just be horrible to try to get to Brother Larry. So that might be just a situation where you can just watch and listen. So, but I'm going to do my best to get that on the broadcast tonight. Let me see. I think that's it. That's going to take us through the week. This coming Sunday, folks, we are planning to be right back out in the parking lot for another drive-in outdoor service on Sunday morning. But, folks, I'm going to let you just know ahead of time that right now there is already projected storms all weekend. So we're going to play it by ear. We're going to watch and see. We're going to make the absolute best decision at the fastest time that we possibly can. Sunday was incredible. I loved it so much. It was a hurry, rush job. And so we're going to try to make plans to do it a little bit more efficiently if we have to make last minute decisions. So you want to stay tuned on Sunday. Stay right here by your phones to find out what is going to be taking place. Okay. Hey, we're going to be beginning John chapter 10 this morning. So if you've got your Bibles, go ahead and turn that thing over. This is a conversation that Jesus is now having. He is talking to a group of Pharisees, and we saw that conversation begin yesterday when we ended chapter 9. And so we're gonna pick this up this morning, and we're going to be beginning at verse 1 in chapter 10, and we're only going to read the first 6 verses. This is the setup of the conversation that he is going to continue, and tomorrow it is where we run into where Jesus himself tells this group of Pharisees that he is the good shepherd, and I'm very, very excited about tomorrow's passages. So you might want to read ahead. You might want to go ahead and get ahead of it and be praying through it. See what God has to say to you. Okay, here we are. John chapter 10, beginning at verse number 1. Jesus says this, "Most assuredly, I say to you, he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the doorkeeper opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he brings out his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Yet they will by no means follow a stranger, but will flee from him, for they do not know the voice of strangers." Jesus used this illustration, but they did not understand the things which he spoke to them. Folks, this is so much more than face value. If you have ever studied the history of shepherding and the raising of sheep, especially in the Middle East, I want to define a couple terms here that we've read. The first one I want to define here is sheepfold. The sheepfold is it's somewhat of a circular pen. Now, during the day, the sheep are allowed to get out and to graze and to roam the pasture, the countryside, the hillside, whatever the case may be, under the guidance and the watch care of the shepherd. But at night, this pen, this rounded-ish pen, is where the shepherd leads the sheep into the sheepfold for protection, for safety. And a sheepfold, by historical thoughts here, is typically about anywhere from 4 to 8 feet tall. Okay, I mean it varies. There's no set height. It's somewhere between 4 and 8, and it's generally made out of rocks. the shepherds would build these. They would gather rocks and they would mount them. It would literally look like a type of a rock wall, and so they would build this pen, if you will, and that was the safety. And what it was for was to put the sheep in there. And then it would serve as protection from all the other wild animals that might come up at night, like the wolves, the bears, anything that would come in to attack and to kill the sheep. And so the shepherd, the shepherd would put them in there, and then what he would do is at the door of the sheepfold. Okay, sheepfold is the pen. The sheepfold generally did not have a gate on it, okay? But if you can imagine a door right now in your home, imagine taking the door off the hinge, okay? And so you have that wide opening that goes from one room to another, or maybe from your kitchen to your garage, whatever the case may be. But let's just imagine now that door is off its hinges and you can go in and out at will. Well, what the shepherd does is the shepherd, when he gets the sheep inside the sheepfold, what he does is he himself stretches out across the threshold of that door, of that entrance, so that you have to come through the shepherd in order to get to the sheep. He serves as the protector of the sheep. I use this analogy a lot when I'm talking to other pastors and to other church leaders, and I want to share this viewpoint with you, because not only does the shepherd, the pastor, serve as the under shepherd, if you will, of the flock, but he himself is seen in this role as he is the one who protects the church, his church family that he is called to protect them from wolves in sheep's clothing, from false doctrines, from the tares that are among the wheat. I think you see what I'm talking about here. But in addition to that shepherd role, okay, the pastor himself is also the sheep dog, because he is the one first and foremost that encounters all of that falseness, all of that negativity, all of the acts to attack the sheep. And so when you see your pastor, or when you see church leaders that are doing that, what they are doing is they are putting themselves in the protector's role in order to protect against anything that's going to harm the body. And I see myself, and I've said this for years. Denise has heard this, and again, and I've taught it in conferences with other pastors and meetings, that we are not only the shepherd to where we are tending the sheep and where we are feeding the sheep, but we are also the sheepdog to where we are the protector. And I want you to understand that I take that role extremely serious. I do not want to see anything come to the harm of our church body. I just don't. And so I'm always at guard so that nothing harms our church, as well as, like I said, as well as the tending, the taking care of, as well as the feeding, the preaching, the teaching, the nourishment. But I also see it as the protector in that sheepdog. And so what Jesus is saying here, and I want to read it again now under this context, okay, so that you understand what is taking place and how Jesus is using this imagery in order to talk to the Pharisees. He says, "Most assuredly I say to you, he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door," okay, remember the shepherd is in the door, "but climbs up some other way." In other words, somebody that tries to get in secretly, or somebody that tries to get in without others knowing it, okay? "The same is a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the doorkeeper opens, and the sheep hear his voice. And he calls his own sheep by name, and he leads them out." There's such a strong relationship here between the shepherd and the sheep. And so it is that it must be in the church, between the pastor and the church body itself. The flock, okay, has got to respond to that voice. It's just, it's scriptural here. And so it's vital that that shepherd knows his people and understands his people and does what is best for his people. And when he brings out his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Yet they will by no means follow a stranger, but will flee from him, for they do not know the voice of strangers. Folks, this is powerful passage of Scripture, and it describes the image of the New Testament church, if you just want to know the truth. And so we, as the church of today, as the 21st century church, we have to understand the biblical view of the sheep, the shepherd, and the sheepfold, and the protector. Because the shepherd not only is the tender, he is not only the feeder, he is also the protector. And it's so vital that we understand that. And that's Jesus. I mean, you think about that. He takes care of us. He takes care of us. I mean, we don't have a need anywhere that he doesn't provide for. I mean, you think about that. He provides for our needs. And Scripture teaches that, if he's going to take care of the birds of the air, and even the lilies of the field, the grass of the yard, that he's going to take care of his people. So we have to understand that, okay? And then he feeds us. Folks, on Wednesday nights, we're going through how he is providing for the children of Israel by providing them manna, enough manna every day, enough food. It's mind-boggling. He takes care of his people. And so he's not only feeding his people spiritually, or physically, but he's teaching us spiritually. And that's why we have his word. That's why we have that availability of prayer. We have that ability to go to God individually. In other words, you don't have to come to me and say, Jim, I need you to pray to God for blah, blah, blah for this. No, you can go to God yourself. I mean, I want to pray with you, and I'm going to pray for you, but I don't pray instead of you. Okay, does that make sense? And you don't pray instead of anybody else. It's every person has that opportunity to come before the Father and to bow before him and to have such an intimate conversation. And so the shepherd then, he tends, he takes care, he provides, he feeds, and he also protects us. And I'm so very thankful that we have a loving Father that does that he is the good shepherd. And we're going to see a whole lot more of that tomorrow. And such as it is, the relationship between the pastor and the flock. Because when your pastor loves you, and folks, I'm not even remotely trying to compare myself to this, but I want you to understand something. I love my church. I love my church family. And I see myself seriously in this role of taking care of you, of feeding you, of providing the biblical foundation to teach, and to teach you at different levels, to teach you different things, and to encourage you to worship, to fellowship, to disciple, to evangelize. Okay, I encourage you to do that. And then I see myself as that protector role, because I promise you, I've seen battles before, and I've been in battles before, and I'm not afraid of battles because I do not want Satan anywhere near our congregation. I pray daily for a hedge of protection around our church, that Satan can't even find us. We're so close to Jesus. And I would encourage you to pray that same prayer with me. Folks, have an amazing Tuesday. Remember, lots of things going on this week. Sunday, part 2 of Love Compounded. It's going to be amazing. Have an amazing day. We'll talk soon.